What's up, everybody? All right, this is the full moon in Sagittarius for June 3rd, 2023. Let's get into it. This is of course, these energies now are just kind of pinging, and they're not going to stop pinging, I don't think, as we continue to elevate and the energy speeds up. Things are getting realer and realer as they come around. So as we pull this up, we see, of course, that Jupiter here has just crossed its conjunction with the North Node. Mercury is just 1 degree away from Uranus. We have Venus conjunct Black Moon Lilith, and Venus is at its anorectic degree in Cancer. Square the nodes. We have, really, actually, Venus is opposite to Pluto. Square the nodes. There's a lot of stuff to break down here, but first off, I would like to jump into this phrase. Just keeps coming into my mind when I think about this full moon. It's a DMX song. Or lyric, right? It's the snake, the rat, the cat, the dog. How you gonna see him if you're living in the fog, right? So what does that mean? I've been really actually pondering this kind of all day. And then I went to go read the inside degrees of the degree of this full moon. So let's break this down, okay? Very interesting stuff. I hope you guys find it interesting too. So here we have 13 degrees Sagittarius, where the full moon will be. Now, what house would that be in your chart? Let me know in the comments below. And embalmer at work on a mummy. Interesting. Death manifests among the living in myriad forms and guises. It is unforgettable in its imprints. Those who are drawn to get close to death and to get involved with it have their own set of challenges accordingly. Will they get wrapped up in the lesser levels of death and turn it into habitual trapped creatures, or will they extend the range of their affinity and their allegiance to encompass the redemptive and the regenerative aspects of death? Being magnetized to relive previous deaths, to learn the ways of death and to fathom its mysteries, and being able to move among many sides of this equation, but ultimately drawn either to indulge the regressive loop of being in circles of recurrence swept away, or to open up to the space tremendously, to collaborate with the lively ones among the dead, and to discover that in their world, which is scooped out in that exquisite sensibility through which the lively dead see this world, they celebrate its free becoming more fully than anybody else will be able to approach in that sparkling way. That's kind of morbid, right? Now, I don't want to put a dark twist to this, because I think anything, looking at it objectively, okay, it's not good or bad. It's about the work that we are doing. Now, Sagittarius, right, is all about expansion. Sagittarius is all about seeing the bigger picture. So this, I believe, and with all the other things going on between Venus conjunct Black Moon with opposed Pluto, right? We also have to consider that Saturn and Neptune are getting ready to go retrograde this month, so they're slowing down. So especially Saturn is going to be going to retrograde before Neptune. So, that energy is going to be a lot stronger, and that's Piscean energy, which is mutable. It's changing, right? And we're at the end of the fixed energies with the nodes shifting into the cardinal energies of taking new action. There's a part of us that is dying, especially with Pluto square the nodes for the next 6 months. We are being like strung out. There's a part of us that needs to go, that needs to stay behind. Bye-bye. Okay, you're not serving a purpose anymore. It is time to step into that new version of ourselves in the universe. God, with Jupiter conjunct the North Node, there is one way. There is one way, and that way is through the heart. And whatever is not in the heart, whatever is influencing us around in our environment, whatever is distracting us, whatever is holding us captive. I'm seeing so many examples of self-imposed imprisonment of communal structures. Now, I believe that we need to create new kinds of community, but we got to heal the trauma first, because if you got a community that's all traumatized, that ends up being a cult, right? We don't want cults. We want communities. We want healthy, abundant, and happy. In order to do that, we got to call out our shit. Now, I'm human. I've got, I've had my levels of trauma, right? At the end of the day, though, I always come back to love. And I am grateful even for the people that have tried to destroy my life. And people that I've hurt, I'm sorry. People that have hurt me, okay, it was a lesson, right? But at the end of the day, holding on to the anger, holding on to the rage, holding on to the resentment, all it does is hurt yourself, man. All it does is hurt you. And in my sphere of influence around me, I've been seeing a lot of that everywhere I look. It's just communities, or just people gossiping and talking shit, and just people losing their shit. It's sad. Now, I sit with eternal gratitude in my heart for having the strength, having the awareness, having the ability to stay in my heart, because I see like, even some people that I thought that were, that were heart-based and driven, when you get your heart broken or hurt or crushed, or when things happen and you didn't see them, it's very difficult to move through sometimes. There's a lot of shadow work going on out there in the cosmos, and this full moon is illuminating all that heartache, all that like death to the feeling that you want to feel, or death to that part of yourself that was a part of a vision or an idea of something that was going to be a certain way. You got to let it all go and allow the change to take place, because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. But if you keep trying to drag that along, that's going to lower your vibration. That's going to slow you down. That's going to make you feel like shit, and that's going to make you, stop. It's just not going to be good. Okay, and we're in Gemini season right now, and it's very cerebral, back and forth. But with Uranus conjunct Mercury right now, especially now, Uranus just came into the third decan of Taurus, which means that this is now the collective. The third decan of any sign is always the collective aspect. And with Mercury coming into its conjunction there, closing out the shadow period, finishing up the lessons of the Mercury retrograde. All right, what do we learn? And this could be genius insights, or it could be very unexpected communication. It could be very unexpected communication in your physical body. It could be very unexpected, like shifts, understandings, aha moments, epiphanies of belief systems related to values, to monetary situations, to morals and ethics, right? You thought something was one way, but whoa, it was actually another. Truths are coming out left, right, and center, guys. But here's the thing. Anything that is heart-centered, truly heart-centered, right here, that is being exuded out there into the world, is going to win. That's what Jupiter conjunct the North Node. If your intentions are pure, it's going to move forward. It's almost like I'm seeing this. Have you seen the new Thor, Love and Thunder, with those two crazy screaming, I don't even know what they are, like animals with horns, right? And they have, like, the stick that they're driving the rainbow, cosmic shield. And there's screaming up. That is the direction. That's the way. Storm crasher, storm chaser, whatever. That right there is the heart guiding us. And it looks weird. And it's not going to make any sense, right? But the fact is that is the only true direction that is going to get anywhere. Anything that is being built on false pretense, on anything that is being built based on a desire for greed or for money, because the whole monetary system is going to shit anyways, right? Or for a purpose other than feeling like, you want to serve the collective, is going to start to fail 100%. And this full moon with Venus opposed to Pluto, and Venus loves being in Cancer, right? It's but with Black Moon Lilith there's like a very rebellious kind of sexual energy, and with this being opposed to Pluto, this is like people coming at you. It could be testing you, manipulation, or like emotional stuff that you haven't dealt with coming out. Like, hey, we got to deal with this, right? Woo, man. But with Mars in Leo, Mars is like, let's get it done. Let's make it happen, right? Let's take action. Let's go. Let's go. So we have a lot of energy going on in Taurus, but it's not quite as extreme as it was just a few weeks ago. But with Saturn and Neptune both in Pisces getting ready to go retrograde, right? They're exactly 20 degrees apart. Now, they're not communicating, but they're in the same sign. So this is going to be where, especially when Saturn goes retrograde, this is learning the karmic lessons from whatever you did in the last 6 months. So things could be coming up in relationship to the actions that you took in the last 6 months of what you need to learn and what you need to go over. Right now, also, don't forget, Pluto is almost back to Capricorn here. Now, because Pluto is coming back into Capricorn, the old energy is going to kind of come into play, where it's going to be coming into this retrograde season. We got to deal with the old stuff. We got to move through. There's going to be some, as we're moving forward and creating our new foundation, it may not feel like we're moving forward per se. We are moving forward, but it's like we're laying a foundation, and then we find out that there's some shit in the foundation that needs to come out, right? It's going to interfere with the leveling of the new foundation. So now we got to come in, or we're trying to plant the garden, we got to pick a bunch of weeds, right? We got to clean those weeds out before we can really fully move through. And we have to pay attention to the detail. There is no missing detail anymore, because this detail is what's going to make it or break it. If we leave the stuff in there, right? If we leave the weeds in there and plant the seeds, the weeds are going to grow into seeds and infiltrate all the bullshit, and we can't go to that higher vibration, right? If the concrete is poured and there's an obstruction there, or like it's on a fault line or something, and then something happens, it's not going to be sturdy when we build, this big new life vision, what have you. So it's important to really follow your heart, and these steps, these details that we're going to have to address and look at are going to make us have to maybe face some hard truths, or feel some hard feelings, or accept some things that are difficult to accept, get out of our comfort zone in one way or another. But this is the Pluto square the nodes process, guys. This is what the next 6 months is all about. And we're still the nodes are still at 3 degrees. We still have 3 degrees left to go. And so in July, when they shift, we're going to feel that kick up into the next phase. But right around that time, almost exactly, is when Venus is going to go retrograde. And that's going to be very interesting. We'll talk about that later at that time. Okay, so this is going to be a really interesting energy this next few months, really this next 6 months. But, if you take nothing away from this video, listen to your heart. And I know I always say this, right? But there are different ways to understand it. Because there's going to be big decisions that need to be made, right? So if you are making a decision and you're confused, or you're I got to figure it out and I'm not really sure, it's a no. If it feels like a fuck yes, it's yes. if it makes your body light up, if it makes you feel alive inside, then that is a sign that it's right to go. It doesn't, and it's probably going to contradict what your mind's telling you, because it's not going to make logical sense. The heart rarely ever aligns with the mind unless the mind and the heart are in sync, and that is very rare, but that's what we're moving to. And we got to clear this stuff out. So the deeper we go, the more we move towards that, the more intense and kind of difficult, deep stuff has to come out. And the darkness is attacking very, very hard right now because they're dying off. So we don't want to give in to the darkness, guys. Follow your heart. And if you're confused, or if you're not really sure how to do that, then come talk to me and I'll help you uncouple and unfold it and understand how to do that. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful full moon in Sagittarius, and I'll see y'all on the next video.